allow for a change of venue?
We're going to look. Obviously, we're going to look at that issue, but we haven't made that determination yet.
You said you had a team of people, I guess, studying that.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit
Yes, we
about
have.
what that would entail.
Well, we can't really go into all that yet, but we have a jury expert doing that, polling the county and see where we are. So eventually, we will address that issue.
What would your concern be?
Well, the obvious concern is that we can't get a jury that doesn't know a whole lot about this case.
And that the information that they've learned might be biased.
Okay.
Because it clearly doesn't include the defendant's point of view.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to find jurors that don't know one of the alleged victims in a multitude of cases. And as you could see, everybody that was here today following this, they're family members on other cases, not trendsetter cases.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our concern. We will be addressing a motion to change venue. We will be addressing that. Okay, whether it's going to be changed, that's another issue. But we will address that at some point. Obviously, you're following the case, so as soon as it's filed, I'm sure, Carol, you will know, and we'll see it on AL.com, I'm sure.
Talk about why you all wanted your client to see the crime scenes.
Well, it's extremely important in any murder case. Any murder case. And I learned this as a young lawyer, as Glendon did. You always go to the scene of the alleged crime, because a picture doesn't tell the complete story, and you see things that you can't understand from reading a report or looking at a picture. So you always go to the scene of the alleged crime. And many times it is important to take your client to assist in, what's there, sight angles and things. Mm-hmm. Why we want to take Damien there, we can't disclose that to you guys.
Can you address whatever happened before court began today between Damien's mother and maybe some of the victim's family members?
Yes, that which nobody reports on is that Damien's mother and family continued to receive threats. Okay, that nobody reports about that. Same that nobody cares.
We don't
The law enforcement knows about it. They don't do anything. And when perhaps. Damien was probably handled a little roughly when they arrested him. Again, nobody reports about that. Okay. So his mom received the threat, and that was that. The deputies that were here handled it. We appreciate that. They did it in a professional manner.
With everything that he's facing, just sort of what's going through his mind right now?
Again, he has maintained that he's not guilty. Okay? And there's not been any evidence presented in a court to show that he is guilty of any of these offenses. The state will have their opportunity apparently on April the 4th?
April 6th.
April 6th. That's 10 months from now. In getting the case ready for trial, a case like this in the next 10 months, that's pretty quick.
There's an overwhelming amount of evidence in this case. Terabytes of stuff, and it's an imposing task for even experienced lawyers. For a defendant who's never been charged with a crime of this nature before, it's very difficult for him to grasp just the size of the universe. And so that has a lot to do with it, which is one thing that John was talking about when he said it's April 6th. That's an ambitious trial day.
Yeah.
Does he appreciate the magnitude of the charges against him, do you think?
He does. He does.
He's aware that he's facing potential death penalty, and that's awareness.
Yeah. He's not being flippant and where he can communicate with his lawyers, and we can, make small inside jokes between the team. It helps relieve the pressure of the situation. But he's taken this very seriously, and he's maintained that he is not guilty. Okay? And we're proceeding with that.